Now, I talked about Dr. Michael Cohen. And as a Catholic, you know how much we appreciate a sexual predator preying on our children. Now, Dr. Cohen, he works for the Franciscan Plastic Surgery Group out of Tacoma, Washington. And we started our journey out of Nevada when my retirement came in. And I asked my daughter, where do you want to go? We'll go anywhere you want to. And she's 7 years old. She says, I want to see snow, Dad. Yeah, living in Vegas, you get nothing but the heat. So I took out the map of the U.S. and I drew a line. I said, everything north of that line, you can see snow. You pick out anywhere you want to go. Of course, I was praying for Hawaii, and that didn't go off very well because, geez, it's going to cost you 20 grand just to move your car and your goods over there, and another 20 grand to move them back. So, she picked out Montana. So we packed everything up, and we moved to Montana. And I went to the Catholic Church in Helena, Montana. Called up the register and I told him about this priest in Henderson, Nevada, who liked to film little boys while they were blowing them. Well, he was found guilty and he's still rotting in jail. If he's alive at all, I have no idea. And I really don't care. Neither does anybody else in this country. So this woman is on the phone with me and she says, that's very unfortunate. She says, you have to understand they're very sick people. Well, that's an indicator to me. That's a great big red flag. So I told her, says, what about the molesters in prison? Are they sick individuals too? Or are they just predators? I left the conversation at that, and I never registered my daughter in another Catholic school. This is the world we're living in. God bless the men of false intentions. So here's Dr. Cohen working for a Catholic organization protected by the government, protected by a religion, protected by the courts, protected by the police. Well, I'll say the sheriff's department. Why do we have to tolerate these people? And what makes the Catholic Church believe that it can pass out the Holy Ghost like it's given away and then protect a sexual predator? What do you do? A couple days ago, I was sitting in a bar and I'm talking to JB. JB and I were talking about...
I didn't get that.
We were talking about the history of America. And I pointed out to JB that... There's JB. There's JB and I having a beer. Pointing out the fact that the government that represents us now acknowledged its hypocrisy to everything they proclaimed they represented. All men are created equal. All men are created free. Except when they drew that line through the half of us in 1820, they acknowledged the fact that they are hypocrites and liars. This is the downward spiral of greed, ego, and lust. To take our own countrymen, enslave them for the sake of commerce. And if you think you're not a slave, just call up the credit bureau. They'll give you your slave number. They want us to pay for the circumstances of life that have dictated to us all by the men of false intentions. Their greed, their ego, their treason. A civil war that should have never been fought, a line that should have never been drawn. We acknowledge a fact that our countrymen are free, and we apologize for all the pain that they have suffered. This movement is about the collective, the morals, the ethics of the people will be protected. One vote, one man. We want our country back. We want our children protected. And we want the guilty to be accountable to each and every citizen. What do you do? And I keep on remembering that conversation I had with Judge Nathanael Green in his courtroom in Auburn, Washington. I got up, he got up off his bench, and I asked him one question while he's leaving the room. Your Honor, what do you do when the men of false intentions come to your home, smile, shake your hand, and call you friend? Collect your child of 19 and take her up to Washington from Oregon and return her 4 days later with a marked left eye and a case of chlamydia. What do you do? Judge Nathanael Green looked at me, he says, "You're military." I says, "Yes, Your Honor, I am." He says, "What branch?" I said, "Coast Guard Navy, Your Honor." He looked at me and he says, "I'm Navy, Annapolis." And we just stood and stared at each other and we shook our head. We know exactly where this is going, and we know exactly what this is about. This is us against the men of false intentions. The people against all men of false intentions. Be it government, religion, industry, or your own neighborhood. It doesn't matter. They're always with us. But your soldiers are here to protect you. Your soldiers are accountable every single day to the last day of our breath. We love our countrymen. We love our country. And we love our children. God bless the men of false intentions.